Happy Thursday. Unfortunately, my back door neighbor's doing some work, so you may hear some noise in this video, but I will continue on. Because this is important. I will not be silenced by some work being done on my neighbor's house or yard or whatever. With that being said, what an interesting day if you're following politics. What a interesting day, I say, if you're following politics. This comes from FoxNews.com, but it's also been all over Twitter. Democrats try to censor and remove RFK Jr. at a hearing on censorship while telling him that he's not being censored. The irony is not lost on me. This is an attempt to censor a censorship hearing, Kennedy said. House Democrat Thursday tried to unsuccessfully remove Robert F. Kennedy from the hearing on federal government censorship after claiming he was in violation of the House rules aimed at preventing defamatory or degrading testimony. If it's degrading and it's true, is it still degrading? That effort and others by Democrats to silence him at the hearing prompted Kennedy to say this. This is an attempt to censor a censorship hearing. Kennedy, who's running for president against President Biden, was invited by Republicans to testify at a hearing at the White House Judiciary. I don't know why that word's so hard for me to say sometimes. Subcommittee at the weaponization of federal government. But after Kennedy's opening remarks, Rep. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat from Florida, moved to take the hearing to an executive session to discuss Kennedy's alleged violation of the House aimed at banning testimony that defames or degrades others. Wasserman Schultz says that the witness made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments in the last few days, referring to his comments that COVID may have been ethnically targeted because those who are the most immune to COVID appeared to be Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. Kennedy later said that he's not accusing anyone of deliberately engineering COVID that spared certain ethnic populations. Wasserman Schultz moved to halt the hearing to go to executive session was voted down by 10-9 due to Republican majority in the committee. Some Democrats made comments like, "No to hate speech." Also, they voted against the GOP to push to kill Wasserman Schultz's motion. Democrat also tried to limit Kennedy's remarks right from the start by noting that the Rep. Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, who chairs the subcommittee, plans to give him 10 minutes to speak. Stacey Plaskett, a Democrat delegate from Virginia Islands, asked why he should get 10 minutes when the witness usually gets 5 minutes. When Jordan said the committee often lets lawmakers and former lawmakers speak for a longer time, Plaskett said he is neither. Jordan accusation of giving him 5 minutes on the clock and said to Plaskett, if you want to cut him off or censor him for some more, you're more than welcome to do it. "Oh, that's not my job," Plaskett said. "That's your job. Why don't you threaten the witness so that they don't have to be a witness?" "Oh, that's not my job. That's your job. Why don't you threaten the witness so they do not have to be a witness?" What the hell is this chick talking about? Kennedy used his opening remarks to laminate Democrats' effort to censor his speech and broader effort to censor his run for the White House. He said his speech announcing his candidacy was censored 5 minutes into his speech by YouTube. Censorship and the antithetical of our party is anti-ethical to our party. He says, "It was appalling to my father and my uncle, to FDR, to Harry Truman, to Thomas Jefferson," and the chairman referred to it as the basis for democracy. First Amendment was not written for easy speech. He added it was written for speech that nobody likes you for. Kennedy noted in recent emails that shown Biden administration tried to censor his comments about vaccines. Just 3 days into the start of the administration, they had to invent a new word called misinformation to censor people like me. He said that malinformation is information that is true but is inconvenient to the government that they don't want people to hear. My uncle Edward Kennedy has more legislation with his name on it than any senator in the United States history, he said. Why is that? Because he was able to reach across the aisle, because he didn't deal in insults, because he didn't try to censor people. Edward Kennedy came from a time where both parties got along for the sake of the government. Now that's no longer the case. I mean, yeah, you may have your little snickers here and there, but for the most part, they stand united. They may have lost the battles here and there, but once the final vote was counted, they got together for the good of the government. Let's see here. Congrats to Mr. Kennedy for his impassioned speech today at the hearing. I'm not a registered Democrat, but certainly agree with his message this morning. Too bad I can't say the same thing about the monotonous speeches or grandstanding by the Democratic members of the committee. Stacey Plaskett is a despicable, evil human being. I can't even stand listening to her. How people like her and Wasserman Schultz even get the vote in these positions is beyond me. They're pure evil. I don't agree with many of his positions, but the fact that Kennedy's now an outsider is amazing. Reasonable people can compromise and reach an agreement where both sides get something that they want and give something in return. I believe Kennedy is reasonable and the rest of the Democrats aren't. Well, there's a few Democrats that are reasonable. I mean, I know Joe Manchin, kind of reasonable, but he kind of flips and flops. He's getting the Trump treatment. The attacks are only going to get worse for him. See, I may not agree with all of his ideologies, but I agree fully with many. I believe that he will be one of the old school Democrats, meaning pro-America, and shoots from the hip kind of Democrats with morals, open-minded, and his impetus towards working conjuncture to rather than opposition or bipartisanship government. How refreshingly hopeful. Let's see here. Well, it turns out all that free speech the government tried to suppress was true. And I'm not reading that. Because I'm on YouTube. Or this will be on YouTube. Let's see. So far, RFK is the only Democrat I might vote for in a long time. I'm a Republican/independent, but will vote for either side if I feel that they can do a better job. I see little JFK in him, and he was the last decent Dem president that held office. Someone argued he was the last decent Dem, at least the last decent president to hold office. Trump was kind of that person. I wouldn't exactly say Ronald Reagan was that person. I mean, there's the Iran-Contra issue. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of, not a big fan on RFK's position on climate, but I do respect the fact that he would stand up for what he believes is right, even against his own party. Like him or not, he has stones. Not a fan of Baghdad Bob's position in Iraq War, but I do respect the fact that he'll stand up for what he believes is right, even against his own party. Like it or not, he has stones. Even some Democrats realize how terrible Democrats are. I mean, GOP's not much better, to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of war hawks. We're being ran by corrupted war hawks. They're going to get us to every war that they can, unless we start voting them out. If they vote for war, then we should vote them out. Is my saying that I'm coming up with now. See, here, Democrats want their way, their narrative, and nothing more. RFK seems like a solid candidate. I look forward to the debates. I'm a Republican, though. And though I have enjoyed listening to this man, there will be no debates. The Democrat machine won't allow Biden near a competing idea. Come on, man. Come on. No joke. Well, that's true. They always said there will be no debates. Has one problem that just won't go away ever. No, 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 no. Seriously, you're trying to censor a president candidate at a hearing regarding federal government censorship. It amazes me every day how low the Democrats can go. When the tribe begins to eat their own, it's a symptom of a growing, increasing radicalization by the kind of internal dynamic that eliminates more moderate fractions. Kudos to RFK Jr. for his willingness to speak up, especially going against his own party. Let's see here. There's a House rule banning testimony that is demeaning or degrading as they yell MAGA Republicans at every hearing is laughable. Many of us take MAGA as a compliment. You know, it doesn't really matter. Words are just words at the end of the day. If they have meaning, they have meaning. Some don't. Insults have no meaning. When your opponent has to insult you, it means you already won the debate. And continuing that debate is a fool's errand, unless you just want to bring out the nastiness of the other side. That's kind of like my policy on Twitter is I try not to insult people. I just kind of go with the flow, and every so often I'll circle back and be like, during this whole thread here that we've been interacting, you've been insulting me at every turn. I have not insulted you once. And I usually just end the conversation right there and stop responding. But I just find it ironic hearing about censorship and they want to censor someone speaking against censorship. The irony is not lost on me. With that being said, that is my video for today. Have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.